feeling a little nauseating. Yo, what up? This is your boy, Super Daddy Diode. I hope everybody out there is doing fantastic. It is Saturday. It's Saturday afternoon, actually, so I'm a little bit late. But this is that thing we call Let Me DNB, where I just work on music live and talk some talk. And, we're here thinking. I did a post online, which we will take a quick look at, talking about AI. I got to finish a song and maybe try to do like my own kind of a master of a track with this thing I got going on for Warlock Audio. So let's hop into the DAW, see what's going on, and then I got to go have a late lunch, early dinner. But yeah, AI talk. AI talk is freaking interesting, man. I did a post online because of a conversation I had the night prior with a buddy of mine. And honestly, I wanted to bring this up and just have a little chat about it. AI obviously is here. It's going to make life a lot easier. It's going to make things a whole lot different. And we're going to see what it does to music in the next few years. So I'm a graphic designer as well. AI has definitely changed my life in that aspect. You lose work, you gain work, you become much more efficient with the work that you have, and you can charge a better price. So it's very tough because you have the both sides of the brain there, where with AI, where a cover art for me used to take hours to get done. And so you would charge a substantial amount. Now, because of AI, you can still have like your ideas and your tastes, and you can still Photoshop stuff and all that. You can edit things. You can have maybe a little bit more control on some things, but you can get it done at a quicker pace. It hasn't fixed layout, and it hasn't fixed typography. So my problem with AI is those who are using it really don't. As long as like for cover art and flyers and all that, the typography isn't there. So graphic design is not just about the image. Graphic design is about the whole package, the entire package, not just the picture, but the placement of it, the fonts that you use, the continuity amongst the designs. So if you have it laid out in different formats, different dimensions, AI doesn't take into account for that. That's on the graphic designer piece. So I see a lot of artwork coming out on releases where, yo, what's up, DJ Daddy Love? Yeah. This is, you know what this is. Frank Dukes. Like, put up the Dukes, right? Yeah, he's like, and you must be Frank Dukes. No, it's Dukes. Oh, like, put up your Dukes, right? And, okay, USA. Yeah. And, with that said, in artwork, I think it's going to be beneficial to a lot of folks. So you as a startup, you might be able to afford a graphic designer versus a full artist. Because full art can cost you a lot because it's, hours. You can take, an hour to draw, an hour to paint, an hour to digitize. And if you're charging or your cost is 75 US an hour, 100 US an hour, maybe sometimes 200 US an hour, depending on the company that you choose, dude, it can cost a lot for when you're starting up. I understand. So AI is good for that aspect, as long as, we hope that they use all these assets and that the original artists, that the LLMs, the large learning language models, are based off of are giving credit to those artists. It'd be awesome if they can figure out a way. But with that said, I do understand that piece. Now, with AI and drum and bass production, to me, or music production in general, it's a tough spot. I know it's like the new technology. I know it's like there's a change, and there's a, in the future, we'll look back at this little phase of getting to where we got to and say it wasn't a big deal. But it is a substantial change. I guess I draw the line personally at the overall composition of a track. If the entire track was made by AI, you said, make a track that's a cross between Noisia, Britney Spears, Queen, make sure it's at 174 BPMs and the bass line sound like Burr Oak, and you're just like throwing shit out there. It's, you know, it takes however long it takes to make the track, it spits it out to you. That's not production to me. You know, I'm sorry to say, but maybe you can, you know, there's like, how many AI bands are out there where bass guitar, lead guitar, synthesizer, effects, vocals, all are by AI. You know, there's a lot of music out there, and you can kind of tell some sound really, really good. Some sound, you can definitely tell it's AI, but it's not a band. It's not the five guys in a garage, or the five kids in a garage who spent the last 15 years annoying their mom and dad, banging on the drums or constantly playing the Slayer loop over and over and over, or the producer who's sitting in his studio going through a sample pack looking for snare after snare after snare, or kick after kick after kick. Their mom's in the next room like, bro, what is this kid doing over there? Yeah, so DJ Daddy Love says, I have a couple tracks I've done using AI, and they're pretty sick, and it's a tool, and I've had to come back and did it analog. So what I do like is getting ideas from AI, because to generate creativity is some days, you know, as a creative, so I make music, I do art. There have been days where I get in freaking ruts, and you cannot, doesn't matter what you do, but you cannot, for some reason, your brain is disconnected from that creativity portion of it. So if you do got to get some stuff done, and you want to lay out a bass line or like a chord idea, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Or like, even if you want to create samples, so we all use sample packs. I do. I use it all the time. I like to use sample packs definitely for my tops of drums, and sometimes for like little bits and bobs or Foley bass lines, just to save on time, you know. And it's fun. And sometimes I might hear a sample pack idea, and then I'll take like some idea out of what's there and recreate it to my own, or it gives me that boost to be creative. Like, that sounds cool. What if I do it my own way? And it's definitely a little bit more creative. So that's where it's like, if you got to use AI to make that, cool, you know, use it as a tool. AI poop on your face is cool though. Dude, don't do it. Don't do it. What's up, dribbles? So, what's up, Melt? Yeah, I feel like there are too many people that are just not musically inclined to create in a way that doesn't need their hand to be held by a machine. So, yes, I, for example, am not classically trained in music whatsoever. Over the years, I've learned to mess with chords, and kind of by clicking, dragging, and finagling, you kind of learn to create music based off of that. You know, it's the same thing as taking a pencil, you drawing a line, you draw millions of lines. At some point, it'll turn into a piece of art or some graffiti or whatever. So that's how I learn. Because really, if you're creative, you're creative. And if you have that ingenuity in your mind to create, like you just want to build and you want to do things, then yeah, like I understand. But I guess where I draw the line is if you create a track and the entire track is AI and it took you 20 minutes to do this, it's like, it is a cheat code. Like, you know, ProViews mentioned to me that CapCut is the cheat code for video editing. I love it. I've got CapCut. I use it all the time. It's a great tool, man. It is definitely a whole lot easier to use versus Premiere, right? Because really, I'm not going to be a video editor to be a professional video editor. I just want to do quick clips of the stuff that I make or the stuff that I like. So that's why I use it. It's a cheat code. AI can be used as a cheat code as well, but I guess where I draw the line is like the entirety of the track. You know, AI can help you learn. AI can help you fix. AI should be able to be used as a tool to generate something creative that you yourself have created. But to tell it, make me a jump up bass line and make it sound like AMC and Andy C worked on a track together in freaking 2005. And that's where I draw the line. And then, you know, you can't edit it. You can't edit the track. You can't remove anything. You can't do much of anything because it's already made, you know? But I guess like if you're dialing into the track, so maybe make me a kick snare drum line for drum and bass. And then you say, now make me a WAV file that's just a bass line rated in F. And then you can say, make me this. But you didn't generate any of it yourself, you know? That's where it's like, yo, what's up, Warlock Audio? Dan Barata is out there. I'm actually working on the FMJ track now, bro. But yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. It's like, yeah, he said it right. It cheapens the art form. It cheapens the art form. That's the deal. Where it's like, man, I love doing this, bro. This is like really, it's hyper focus, highly creative portion of my weekday time, right? It's the best for me. Like, it is like so medicinal, so therapeutic to create. Then at the end, have it sounding good, play it on a stage or listen to it live, and it sounds fucking dope. Playing against other tracks, and it sounds like it could compete. It feels good, man. But then you've got Spotify, Beatport allowing the release of a shit ton of AI music where, dude, it's a jungle out there as it is. You can't see through the weeds, and it's making it even harder. Where it's like, if they're allowing for these like AI bands to put out 30 tracks a week, dude, what are you listening to? Right? What are you listening to at that point? Are you even listening to music anymore? Are you even listening to that, like, you know, that moment in time where the guy's singing his heart out because a family member passed away, or he's just struggling in life. He's living in a car and he's singing about that time where it was like ready to end it all, you know? Like, you're not going to get that. You can get some of that because AI will read or spit something out based off of what you add, what you ask of it. But it's just going to be like the emotion isn't there, the creativity isn't there, the time that you spend isn't there, and it's like, is it fair? I don't know, dude. Like, and it just are we going through a phase in which we're going to go into the future and it says here, people who want fame and don't like music want to push AI music. I don't know. Because Dan, like what I'm saying is that, like, yeah, would I like for AI to help me? Sigil is a homie, great producer. So check him out on alexdio.com/letmednb. He's got some free presets on there. We can check him out too. So Sigil loves to use AI to create models for analyzing. Dude, I love it. So he put one of my tracks in there, and he's got this model that's kind of an asshole. So the AI is an absolute jerk, and the AI is an absolute jerk, and it tells you that your fucking track is shit. However, it does analyze a track and tell you, you know, at this frequency range, you have a little bit of mud. At this, you know, you should fix your transients along with being a jerk. But that stuff is like, I'm reading what it said, and I agree. Aside from the being a jerk part, I agreed with the analysis. You know, because sometimes as a producer, you can't hear that stuff yourself, and you're by yourself, dude. You're in the studio by yourself. You got nobody who's around you who can help you and say, hey, you should fix this. You usually will send your tracks out to your friends, and then, you know, Korax might tell me to do this, Sigil might tell me to do that, Dan might say, Soul Chemical might say, yeah, your kick is great, but the snare is better. You got to fix that. So you get that from them, but so you don't get it live. So sometimes you want like that feedback live. You know, AI can help you with that, with some of that stuff, where it can analyze your track in like 30 seconds. It can kind of like tell you based off of other tracks it read, it can help you get there. That helps a lot. Yes, don't use AI to make the main thing you're selling. That's the key, I think. And then you know, let's see. We have some let's actually look at some of the responses if it loads. We can just hop into the into the screen here quickly. It doesn't load. What the hell's going on? I just updated to this new MacBook Tahoe or Mac Tahoe. I don't know. It's kind of weird. All right, so let's get into just look at this real quick. With that handsome guy there. AI for music production, is it even debatable? Let's take a look at some of the comments here. As any tool, it can have some positive uses, but as usual, it will be abused, of course. So Sigil says, if it's a tool for assistance and you to learn from, yes. If it creates everything based off of a prompt, no. Nate says, not for complete tracks, but those things like Suno, etc., can produce stems for you. All right, so here's the deal. Vocals is tough because there are vocalists out there who'll be like, dude, why are you using vocalists? It's hard, man, because with vocalists, it's hard to ask somebody, hey, can you write some lyrics and sing this for me and then record it for me? You know, half the people don't have what you need to record. They might have the lyrics. The other half might have the lyrics, but they can't, you know, they could record, they don't have the lyrics. They have the lyrics, they can't record. They don't have time, or they want a substantial amount of cash. Dude, we're not making no money. Like, a good portion of us, you know, big ups to anybody who's making money off of this, but I do this for fun. A lot of people do this for fun. So you really don't want to spend too much on vocals because it can cost a lot. So that's where it's like, it's tough. I understand. Yeah, Dan says, Otas says, I think that big companies are going to use AI music to screw the rest of us. But making art and appreciating art is a big part of the human experience. I think that there will always be a demand for human creativity, especially in their perseverance that it takes to make it beautiful. Yeah. Yoshi says, yo, Alex, dial this thread is wild. Dude's trying to drop psych degrees on me and use their education to flip the script. They got the wrong guy. Well, I hope it makes the road trip I'm on less boring. Right? Stem splitters for remixes are fine. It beats the hell out of the old way of isolating vocals, which you all remember. That's a fucking, you don't even do it. At the end of the day, I don't really care. People relate to other people through music in a way that AI could never relate. Can it, though? I'm with Sarah Connor. I just watched that last night. I could not sleep, so I put on Terminator. And Miss Isis says, I'm still going to produce music and still going to run a label. My thoughts on AI, I'll use it to master and stem split, though. Oh, thanks, babe. Awesome. We got some Alex meat. Yeah, you gonna have some? Okay. And got some meats and some cheeses from the Russian store. Привет, нет. And Noise Floor says, I want my music to sound like dog shit because I made it that way, not because some AI decided it should be that way. And the Nate here says, who's a phenomenal producer, making music is the creative process. Making music and the creative process is the fun part. Using AI is like buying a tray of brownies from Kroger and bringing them to a party and saying they're homemade. Right. It's tough. Bandcamp banned AI music from their platform, which is huge. Screamart says slop. And Dorian says, I think we gave everyone too much leeway with ghost producers and allowed ourselves to get to this moment where the art itself isn't as much as a product as the person or brand is. That's another piece. It's like with AI, if you let it run itself, yeah, that's gonna go down. Just like with the ghost production, which to me, I only agree with ghost production if the producer is getting paid well, one, and two, the person who's putting out their track as their own, it's really their idea, and then the ghost producer fixes stuff and puts it out. And that DJ or somebody who's using the ghost producer is somebody who's just like an Andy C or an AMC, where they can have sick ass ideas, but they just don't have the time because they're traveling all the time. So they don't have a studio space. They don't have this, they don't have that. They've got the wealth to do so. And as long as they're taking care of the producer and no AI is being used, then I'm on the fence, but I guess I'm more okay with it in that case. Now, if you're a nobody producer, and yes, oh my God, Mel, you just said it right. Nothing will advance people's mixing and mastering abilities more than spending a lot of time on big sound systems. AI can never tell you how a tune will hit on a Danley or a Function One. A lot of the tunes in getting lately fall flat on big rigs. Yeah, it's huge, bro. It's huge. You're absolutely right. I'm a producer. I'm not a DJ, and I don't get out much. So thankfully to Mr. Isley and Lenore, I was able to play at the Elements Throwdown this last Thursday, and I played a lot of my tracks, dude. I played. We did 3 for 3s and sometimes 4 for 4s. And of them, I would pretty much, I probably went up four times. I would say 70% or 60% of what I played was my stuff. And I played it specifically to hear it on the rig from the DJ's perspective. And then one of the tracks, or actually 2 of the tracks, I was able to get out to the dance floor and hear the end of the track. It was fun. I really appreciate Lenore, Mr. Isley. You guys are the best. And then the crew who played with us, all phenomenal DJs. But I never get that chance, man. I never get that chance. So I can understand if I can use AI as a tool to make my mixes better. Because to get a mastering engineer to give the time, unlike you got Greg, who actually gave me some great pointers. Greg from the Lion's Den mastering. He gave me some great little tidbits that I'm trying to learn to put in place. And then you got your homies who tell you should fix this and fix that. But it's hard to get that in real time or when you need it. So I understand. But you won't. If you're a AI producer and you rank up and all of a sudden you got a group of guys and labels who want to work with you, but you can't because you don't even know what you're talking about. You don't know how to engineer sounds or songs. Then it's tough, man. It's tough.